This video is an introduction to work with Blender. We talk about essential tools that will help you to start to work with Blender. Blender is a free software and it's available to everyone. We use this basic knowledge about Blender to make our models and paint over it inside Photoshop, like house, farm cart, wooden bridge. But you can use this knowledge in any way you like. I will explain keymap sets, move, rotate, scale, and select tools, viewport navigation, viewport overlays settings, 3D cursor, exact rotation, X-ray mode, edit mode tool such as extrude, inset face, bevel, or loop cut, origin of the object, local or global transformation orientation, snap tool, scene collection, objects parenting, basic material and render settings, camera view settings, vertex and face normals, shade smooth or shade flat, and more. So let's start. The technique I will use later is possible with any other 3D package like Maya or 3D Max, but because Blender is a free software and it's available to everybody, I decided to use Blender for the technique we want to use later. You can download it Blender from blender.org. And the technique we want to use is that to make a house inside Blender, a very basic model, a mockup like this, and then paint it inside Photoshop over the basic model. So we can achieve a final result like this. Run the Blender. This is the screen that you see the first time. In Blender, it's important that which kind of shortcut set you will use. You can change it from here, Edit, Preferences. I prefer to use standard compatible because I already have experience with Maya and 3D Max. So it's much easier for me to use a standard compatible. But if you watch tutorial on the YouTube, a lot of tutorial use Blender default shortcut. For movement and basic object movement, I will teach both set of keyboard shortcut. But for the rest of the course, I will just use standard compatible shortcut. You can change it whenever you want from this address, edit preferences and keymap, and then you can come here and change it. Industry compatible, Blender 27X. You can also search any command that you want to use and then find its shortcut or assign a shortcut to it. For example, here I search height and I find the shortcut that I want to use. If I set my key map to industry compatible, W will be for move and E for rotate, R for scale, Q for select. W for move, or E for rotate, R for scale, For uniform scale, you need to drag the white circle. And for select Q, if I press Q again, I can select between different kind of select mode. This one, and this one. Sometimes it's very useful to change the default select mode. If you use Blender keymap, G will be for move, R for rotate, and S for scale. Blender keymap. G for move, R for rotate, and S for scale. I prefer to use industry compatible. As I already mentioned, I'm a Maya user and it's more suitable for me. Viewport navigation. You can orbit in the scene by holding Alt and left mouse button, pan by Alt and middle mouse button, zoom with Alt and right mouse button, or mouse wheel up or down. You can also use this gray circle to control your navigation. You can click and drag inside the gray part, or you can press the axis you can see. So you will go to a front, top, back, or other view. You can also press F to focus on the selected object. It will help you to easily find your selected object among other objects. If you press this icon, Viewport Overlay, you can display overlays like gizmo and outlines. You can decide to turn on or off your floor, your X, Y, or Z axis, scale between your floor grid, text info like the one you see in the left side of the screen, statics like the number of object, vertices, edge, face, and triangles. You can turn on or off 3D cursor or extra. Light and camera are extra. You can turn it on or off. You can decide to show your wireframe around your object. Face orientation and motion tracking.